you're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
Oh yeah, that's what we do here. Bad movies.
Bad movies in bad rooms.
Except this week. This doesn't fall under the bad movie.
It's a horror film, so it's suspect. I'll give you that.
No, this is. I'll fight you on this one. This is a good movie.
Oh no, you're not fighting me. See, I'm glad we ended up reviewing Coob. Because when I checked the letterbox, Coob. And the letterbox reviews were mostly meh.
That's interesting.
They were all like, this old movie is so too slow, nothing happens in it. But I'm like, no, I disagree totally. And then when I talked to people in my immediate vicinity, they'd never seen the film or heard of it.
Oh, no kidding.
I thought this was...
Didn't they make like 3 or 4 of these things?
They made 2 sequels. It was Cube and then Cube Squared, and then instead of doing Cube Cubed, which I would expect, they went with Cube Zero. And then in the Japanese remake came out in 2021, Cube.
Oh, okay. So is that 3 sequels then?
It's 2 sequels and a reboot.
No. So you have the first film, Cube. And then,
then 2 sequels.
2 sequels.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said Cube Squared, Cube something else, and then Cube Zero.
Cube Squared, and Cube Zero. I said it should have been Cube.
Oh, all right.
But
sorry.
But they went with Cube Zero instead. No, that's my bad. I muddled
No,
things up there.
that's my fault. I was.
But I mean, the film was good enough to spawn. The film was good enough to spawn 2 sequels and a remake. I mean, that says something to the quality of the film.
Yeah, and just that first film alone, that is... I remember watching this when it came out. I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm almost positive that it had a small theatrical run, and then it premiered on the Sci-Fi Channel, like on a Friday or Saturday night back in the day. And
I rented it.
You rented it? I saw this on the Sci-Fi Channel, and for the most part, from re-watching it when I got it on DVD and whatnot, it was shown unedited for the most part, except for some swearing. They obviously, they changed they changed that. They did voiceover for that, but for the most part,
Clinton in his potty mouth.
Yeah, for the most part, it was. Yeah, it was uncensored for the most part, except for some swearing, because it was on Sci-Fi Channel. It was really good film. Great opening.
Yeah.
Great opening. You know what you're getting into from the very beginning of the film.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice teaser at the beginning before you were introduced to the main characters. Yeah. I love that the guy that's introduced at the beginning that is killed off almost immediately. It was the guy on the poster for the film, so everybody going into it's expecting this guy to be the film because he's on the movie poster.
Yeah,
genius advertising. I wish there was more bait and switch like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you include him in the cast, there's only 6 people in this whole movie. That's it.
7.
7.
7.
So you had the autistic guy. You had the cop.
So let's start at the beginning. At the beginning, we have Alderson, that's given his name, although we never hear it in the film. That's the guy in the beginning that gets cut up into meat cubes.
Yeah.
then we meet the 4 main characters. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you read this, but all of the character names are prison names.
Oh, are they? No, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
So we meet Levin and Leavenworth, then Quentin, San Quentin, and then Holloway, which is another one. And those are the four main ones we meet. And then later they bump, and then they bump into the Wren.
The Wren.
And then later Kazan.
And then the guy from the beginning. Yeah, you're right. That's 7.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. So again, if you know, I don't think you'd be watching this if you hadn't seen the film. But if you hadn't seen the film, it starts off with after the initial teaser. It starts off with 4 people that wake up in a room. It's a very common trope now, but I don't know if we were doing it a lot back in.
No.
What year is this? 2003.
97.
97. Even I don't know what I'm thinking of. Yeah. I mean, this is like a decade before Saw.
Were we thinking of Saw maybe? Because that was early 2000s.
Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking of. So it's less than a decade, but it still beat Saw out by a good time, and it's like 2 decades ahead of the whole escape room horror film craze.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this film really was ahead of its time, and it's kind of, for me, it's a Blair Witch type film in so much as that there's only one set. They only had one cube the entire movie.
Yeah, they just changed the colors in each one.
Right, which I think is genius, and just knowing that, watching the film, it makes the film that much more enjoyable for me because I'm watching them do this.
They keep opening doors, and then they'll go through that door, and you'll see the next room next to it, but what they're really doing is just going into the same room. I guess maybe they use like a mirror effect or something like that to achieve it.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that they filmed all the color sequences in order, so they didn't have to keep switching the colors back and forth because it was labor intensive. So they shot all the red room scenes first, then all the white room scenes. I think they did the white room scenes first. But,
did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
the behind the scenes stuff for me is just so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, every time we tend to review good films, it never goes well. I mean, why is this on the wheel? Do we just want to throw some good films in there?
Well, I'm pretty sure they go downhill from this one.
Well, because we did Cube franchise, right?
Right. So next time we hit that, we would do Cube 2, or Cube Squared.
Cube Squared.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen any of the sequels, so.
Oh, me neither.
But
I grabbed that remake as soon as I saw that was a thing.
I haven't done that yet, but yeah, no. When you said there was a remake, I was like, well, you know what? That's pretty much right up Japan's alley. Like, it really is. Like, how did it take that long to have them make a remake of it? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
When you said it, I was surprised, and then really wasn't surprised.
Yeah, they weren't doing that many murder game films back in the 90s. I feel like this film was ahead of its time, and it's been undeservedly forgotten with the onslaught of other films that are similar.
No, true.
I mean, this is tell me this isn't the film you thought of at the end of Cabin in the Woods when they had the glass boxes sliding all around.
Of course.
Tell me that it's like the first thing you think. Oh yeah, Cube. Yeah, those things. It was that ingenious of an idea, I thought. All right, I don't know, ingenious is a bit strong, but it's an interesting concept. Obviously enough to spawn 2 sequels, and I thought the writing was decent. The character progression worked. There's there's scenes of tension and slight levity throughout, but I thought it all worked well. I mean, it's a really tight little film. Like a Canadian horror film.
Oh, yes, that's right. I remember that. If there was any gripe that I'd have, and this is a small one, the writing was pretty good. The acting, probably not the greatest, but
it's a low-budget film.
Yeah, but it got the job done. It really did. Some characters delivered their lines not as good as others, but that's a small gripe.
I thought Maurice Dean Wint did the homicidal cop very well.
Yeah, some of his lines that he delivered weren't great, though. You could tell that he was trying very hard, but it wasn't great.
Yeah. It's a little unrealistic how Holloway keeps poking the bear in the films. So yeah. Keep insulting the guy that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know this, right? Come on.
It's like, I'm sure he hasn't beaten a confession out of someone before. Of course he has.
Yeah, when he actually slapped you, that wasn't the first clue, right?
Right. Wait, I'm gonna say something. Don't hit me again.
I mean, honestly, though, I think it's a very realistic part of the film, too. I'm convinced you lock any 6 random strangers together in a room, and eventually one of them is going to kill somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I should watch the sequels even if they're not if they don't become a challenge, because I'm assuming in the sequels it explains more about how and why these people are thrown in these cubes.
Yeah, they build up a bit of a mythos around it. The part 3 is actually a prequel. It's supposed to show like the building of it, I think.
Oh, really?
And part 2 takes place in like 20 minutes into the future. And it's
20 minutes after this movie.
No. It's a phrase. It means like in the not too distant future. 20 minutes into the future. It's a trope term. I'm reading those things too much.
Sorry, I've never heard of it, but thank you.
No.
I like learning new stuff, especially if it's cinematic or if it's in literature. So.
But I think in the second film, the cube actually defies the laws of physics, too. It's like I saw that in the description. It's like no. You can see already that they're going to go the wrong way with this.
Was it same director on that by any chance?
I
imagine this director. Well, hold on. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
He's the only other film that he's done that I think would get any attention is Splice, which I've had recommended to me by other bad film movie lovers.
It's Vincenzo Natali. Hey, he likes the cannolis. Hey. All right, let's see. Director. Oh, he did an episode of American Gods. Oh, he did 3 episodes of that TV show, The Strain. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He did some episodes of Westworld.
Speaking of, once again, about how Cube was ahead of its time, also Resident Evil stole the whole meat cube scene from it. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. That came out, first Resident Evil came out in 2003, I think. Oh, maybe you were thinking of that film. Maybe you were thinking of that film.
No, I think Saw came out the same. I think Saw came out the same year.
I thought Saw came out in 2004.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Resident Evil came out in 2003.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, he did not do anything Cube related after this movie, and you know what? That's probably a smart move for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saw came out 2000. Yeah, Saw came out 2004. And the first Resident Evil came out in 2002. So Resident Evil stole it first.
I remember watching that in the theater, and that scene came up. I was like, they stole that from the Cube.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, I mean, if for any reason you're listening to this and you haven't seen the movie, I mean, see it.
But yeah, both Cube and Resident Evil. I like the first Resident Evil. It gets a lot of shit.
That was like the first zombie film in a long time. That was the first one. Because I remember that's why I went to the theater to see it. It wasn't really, because it was a video game.
It put it back on the map because then a couple of years later was the very, very, very excellent remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, which, if you haven't seen that one, I'll give you a little something for anyone listening. For as much shit that Zack Snyder gets, I defy you to watch Dawn of the Dead and just not thoroughly enjoy it. Even if you absolutely hate Zack Snyder, Dawn of the Dead will not disappoint. It is very, very good.
I'd put the Dawn of the Dead remake in my top top 10, maybe top 5 zombie films.
Yeah. Oh, it's and
Yeah.
what was that thing? He fought for that Johnny Cash song for the opening credits, and
Yeah, no one believed him.
They told him it's like, nah, it's not going to work. And not only does it work, it's like you're a fucking genius for doing it. That Johnny Cash song with the opening credits of the film is fucking phenomenal. It's so good. So good. Anyhow.
Yeah. Anyhow, Cube.
Cube.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else. It's a
No,
really bad review.
Well,
damn it.
Well, that's what happens when we put good movies on the wheel. It has
all
to
I
be
can do
bad
is
films.
recommend it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. I mean, listen, if you want to break it down, you know, the writing is very, very good. The acting, not great, but it still doesn't take away from the film. It's very, very smart in a lot of spots, especially with how it does things like its geometry and math and prime numbers and all that thing. That, you know, all those things. It's actually very, very smart in all of that. So just that alone is worth the watch, because at no point do you feel, what are they doing here? That's dumb. I don't think that would ever happen. No, it realistically, if someone created this cube that, you know, moves around, and you go from room to room and there's booby traps, yeah, I think it would be that kind of thought out.
And I also enjoyed the dialogue scenes where they have the deep discussions about what the cube is, who built it, and why. Right. Because I like how it goes through the different conspiracy theories, and then Worth brings it back around. It's like, no, nobody had any idea. Nobody has any idea. Each body, the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. It's just a bunch of idiots running things, and no one has any idea what this is. But if they admit that, then they have to admit that their jobs aren't good. Suck. So they keep their jobs. Everybody just keeps doing stuff.
Yeah,
because you find out Worth is one of the designers of the outer shell of the cube, so
right.
So he has a kind of an idea what it is.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about the inside. He designed the outside shell that houses all of the cubes.
And I like how when they start off with him as the kind of character that you're looking at as the bad guy, and Quentin is the good guy, and then they slowly trade places about halfway through the film,
right?
As Quentin starts slowly losing his mind.
Yeah.
I look at their minds like a fucking X-ray. Yeah.
You have to believe me. My mind is razor sharp. Okay, you need some water. you need some water and a burger.
He puts his all in that role, man. I tell you, I believe him. He gets the crazy eyes at the end, and I believe those crazy eyes.
And you know what? That was very, very practical makeup that they did, where they used like eyeshadow to go under the eyes to make it look like their eyes were starting to sink in a little bit, because they were all starving and dehydrating, and it just their faces started to look more gaunt, and it was done with practical just makeup, and it was just. And if you watch it from the opening scene all the way till the end, you could see that, it's just practical makeup. It was just well done. It was just really well done.
Great special effects. I mean, there's only 2 big visual kills.
Yeah, just the 2.
Really, just Red and Alderson. The other ones are kills, but I mean, the only other kill that would be close to gory would be Levin when he stabs her from behind at the end.
Right. Spoiler alert.
No, but again, why would you be watching this if you hadn't seen it?
That's true.
Yeah, but whatever. I'm not criticizing. Yeah, I mean, Cube is just but I'm just surprised at the reception it got on Letterboxd and the response I got from people. No one that I know, like at work, in the household, nobody's heard or seen of this film. And Letterboxd, they're all unimpressed. We have to get the word out.
Well, you know what it is.
You're wrong. This is a good film.
It is a very good film, and I think they're unimpressed because of all the copycats in some way, whether it be just waking up in a room and shit happens to just people turning on themselves. It's just, I don't know. They just,
Saw really cranked up the locked room horror films, and that really kind of muddied the waters for what was really, again, at the time, quite an original low budget horror film out of Canada.
Yeah, but even with that, this movie should definitely be more appreciated. It really should.
I agree.
It really should.
Appreciate it, damn it. Yeah. Now, I wanted to recommend a change. I wanted to stop rating our films on IMDb and start rating them on Letterboxd.
You want to go exclusively to Letterboxd?
Well, yeah.
So, I mean,
I don't think anybody follows us on IMDb.
Well, can we do both and just mimic the rating on Letterboxd?
We can. I can put in the extra effort.
Okay.
But I figured, we might have someone, people follow us on Letterboxd, so let's put the ratings there so they can see them.
I think we should just put it in both.
I know, but I'm saying I'm going
to
start doing
it
Letterboxd.
You're going to do it.
We're going to start doing it in Letterboxd.
All right, let's mimic the score that we give in IMDb to Letterboxd. That's all. So it's currently sitting at a 7.1 on IMDb.
Okay.
7, I think, is a good score. But could I be talking to an 8?
No.
An 8 would be, we're starting to talk probably Oscar nomination in some way.
Or at least higher budget. I mean, more polished. I mean, the film's good. I think it's definitely deserving of a 7 for all the reasons we've just stated repeatedly.
So I think what I was trying to do there was to see if you could talk me into an 8, because...
No, I wouldn't even try.
Well, no, if you tried, I might have a little pushback, and then be, man, okay, I'm glad we're not going that way, because I agree with the 7. So
yeah,
I'm happy with...
I don't know why I feel like you're arguing with me over the same...
Just kind of vamping. I don't know. Kind of vamping before we spin the wheel, I guess.
All right. That's a 7, which now Letterboxd does 5 stars, but they do a half stars, which is annoying. So the equivalent of that would be 3.5 stars on Letterboxd, which I have it rated as
3.5. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the 5-star rating for movies. I'm really not.
Maybe my only criticism of Letterboxd, but yeah, it's a minor one, and I just roll with it.
I think for products, 5 stars works great. For movies, 4 stars. It's what I grew up with, and it's what I feel is appropriate. I really do. Even to this day, if I talk about a movie, and I'll be like, you know what, from directing to writing to acting, this is a 4-star movie, and it's just. I feel like
I can tell you feel strongly about this.
I do. I absolutely do. I think 5 stars is, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
All right, so.
We're going to spin this wheel?
Yes, let's spin the wheel.
All right. Ooh, let's do this. Spin the wheel.
No whammies.
God. No whammies. Here, let me get this in the frame here. Hey, look, everyone. The wheel is back, baby. Look at that. I love it. Everyone can see the wheel again. I don't know what happened. Well, you know what? I'll tell everyone what happened. Skype doesn't exist anymore. We're doing this on Microsoft Teams, and apparently Skype was the problem the whole time. All right. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. Waiting.
Let's do it. All right. Oh, that's some funky music. All right. Big money. Big money. No whammies. No whammies. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
We have 13 ghosts. Oh, shit.
Why? You don't like it?
I don't know. I mean, we're going from one horror-type film to another one.
Well, veto it.
Yeah, I'm going to veto it.
All right.
I'm gonna veto it.
Try it again.
All right, let's do it again.
Something a bit more random.
Ooh, this music sucks. All right. This is like music you. I don't know this film. The Vagrant.
The Vagrant. Oh, we're talking late 80s
like
direct to video.
Giallo? No.
No, it's American.
The
yeah,
Vagrant.
you're gonna like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a very little known film. I think you're gonna enjoy this. It's gonna be an interesting review.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of movies called The Vagrant.
I'll tell you which one.
There's a film from 1921. There's a film from 1992. Bill Paxton, Michael Ironside.
That's it. Bill Paxton. No, wait. Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, you got one from 1921, 2017. Oh, no, that's the Vagrant Holiday. 2023, 1921, and 1992.
1992 is the one.
What do we got here? We got a businessman buys a house, but he has a hard time trying to get rid of its previous tenant, a dirty bum. Oh, so this is like a horror comedy or like a thriller comedy kind of thing?
It's got humorous elements to it.
Well, you know what? Oh, that's what's his face. That's Jimmy Olsen from Superman and the brother from Back to the Future. You know, this is in Bill Paxton's I'm making weird movies phase, you know, like the dark backward.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, that's why I threw this on the list because it's one of those films from my my horror splatterpunk period when I was watching every horror film that came out. I remember renting this.
So this is a dark comedy, horror, and thriller. That's what it's labeled as on
that's a fair assessment.
IMDb.
Yeah. It's definitely got a dark humor. It's definitely got a humorous streak to it. It's not a comedy, but it's a dark humor.
And it says this is who produced this? The Blu-ray. I think it's either Shout Factory. I think it's Shout Factory.
Oh, cool. Give them a shout.
Here, let's. Oh, I'm sorry, Scream Factory, which I believe is, but I believe Scream Factory is Shout Factory. Yeah, it's just their department. They have a department called. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to this. I never knew this movie existed.
You're welcome.
I am gonna go grab this right after the show.
All right,
and it's early 90s. It's early 90s, so it's got that early 90s like flair to it. I can just tell by the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and it wasn't direct to video. I rented it, but it actually did have a theatrical release.
Actually, you know what I bet? I bet that thing came out spring or summer. That trailer feels like a spring or summer release. And
May.
Did it come out in May?
Yep.
Man, I'm fucking good. It just felt like it. Let's see. 1992. Yep. Wow. This is the anniversary. When we do it next week, it will be the anniversary of this film coming out. 43 years.
Wow. We're old.
Not 43 years. 33 years. What am I talking about?
Still old.
But still, it's meant to be. We're actually going to review this on its anniversary.
It's meant to be. There are no mistakes.
There are
there are no coincidences.
That's
there are
right.
Plenty of mistakes.
All right.
All right.
All right. Let's go ahead and end this then.
Yes.
All right. Let's do that. All right, everybody. As always, thank you again for joining us for another episode of Moviesucktastic, episode 447, where we just reviewed the 1997 film Cube. You can go to our website. You can listen to the show. You can download the show as an MP3. Or you can click on the YouTube link, and it'll take you to YouTube, where you can watch this video that we just reviewed of this film. You can go to facebook.com/Moviesucktastic, and you can see everything that we post there. You can go to our Letterboxd site, letterboxd.com/Moviesucktastic. Scott loves it, so you should go check it out. He works very hard on it. If you want to leave us voicemail. The number is 908-514-4470. If you want to leave us email, the address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. If you want to download our podcast, our podcast player, it's moviesucktastic.mst.apk, or just go download your favorite podcast player for your device, whatever it may be, and do a search for Moviesucktastic. We come right up. That's pretty much all I got. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Big Brother is not watching.
Yeah.
Gumdrops.
26 bags. 26 bags.
27.
Astronomical.
Hot.
Thought that was Michael Rappaport back in the day for a hot second, but it's not.
About the same mentally.
Ooh, yeah, that's accurate. He's an idiot. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Bye.
We'll talk to you next week when we review The Vagrant. It's going to be a fun one. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.